This speaker has been recorded at a meeting of Addictive Eaters Anonymous. For more information, visit our website www.aeainfo.org.
I'm Kay, and I'm an addictive eater. Yes, I was trying to think of a topic, because I was thinking that everyone's heard my story so many times, but it'd be good to try and channel my thinking on something. And I thought, well, surrender is a good one because it's, the basis of the program. Basically, a short word for step one. So, yeah, I'm going to be talking about step one tonight. The mysterious step one. I didn't understand it at all when I first came in here. And gradually I started to see that there were members in recovery. Well, they talked about step one. They talked about they were powerless over food. And I just knew they were, and I knew they were. And I could see that it was connected with the freedom that they had in their lives. But I did not know. It was just very mysterious, and I didn't know. I certainly didn't think it was ever going to happen for me. But I took the right actions in that I kept coming to meetings. And that was the best thing I could have done. I kept eating, not quantities of food, not at all. In fact, I'd stopped binging and I was on a food plan. But it was written in two different pens, a red and a blue. And one of those was read out to my sponsor and the other one was what I actually ate. And one day I just woke up and I just knew that I couldn't go on. And I didn't really understand that. I didn't know what was wrong with me actually. But I got in touch with those sober members and arranged to go and see them in one of the members' houses that night. And they graciously gave up their meat to do that, which I was aware of, and appreciated, considering I didn't really know why I was even going there. But anyway, basically I was honest for the first time in my life. And how of the program, honesty, open-mindedness and willingness, that the honesty was critical for me to make a start, and that just had not been there. And I was open-minded enough to get down on my knees when I got home that night and say to something, if there's anything there, can you help me? And I actually didn't think there was anything there, but I took that action. And I totally know today that my higher power was there. For me, my higher power is actually within me, basically just waiting for me to help me, to give me the power that I need and didn't have. After that, the very next day, basically, I had a massive willingness to work this program, which had not been there before. I had been trying to sort of do as little as I could. And it was just the complete opposite. I abandoned myself to this program, tucked in, alongside my sponsor and her sponsor, and followed their example. And I started to, I only needed one pen, write the food plan out, all the one colour. What I was reading out was what I was having. And I believe that I woke up that day and that I didn't know what was wrong with me and that I had surrendered. I was totally beaten by the food and by this disease. However, the next day I was completely on my food plan. And the day after that, I picked up the first one again. I had milk, which was on my food plan, but I had it in coffee. A cup of coffee at lunchtime, cup of coffee at afternoon tea time. And I genuinely didn't realise that that was the first one. Milk is food. and I wouldn't put it in a drink today. And for me, coffee is the first one today anyway. But I really genuinely didn't realise that at the time. And so I still believe that I was beaten, even though I'd ate that day. And that is a long time ago now. I haven't picked up the first one since that time, regardless of anything that's happened in my life. All sorts of things, just the things of life have happened, and it hasn't had anything to do with eating. Nothing to do with it. And I have experienced that freedom that I saw in those members that were getting well. So, yeah, I abandoned myself to the program, as I said, and followed the direction of my sponsor. I had a very heavy dependence on my sponsor at the beginning, and she helped me through the 12 steps. I needed a lot of help, and gradually she helped me that dependence to transfer onto my higher power. She helped me with that. And I still ring my sponsor a lot. That's just common sense to me, because I still need to be totally honest with another member that is further down the track, and I need to, someone that can see, that knows me very well and understands me very well and understands this disease very well and is not emotionally involved in my life. I am. And I still receive a lot of help. The power to not pick up the first one and to work this program in my life comes from my higher power. Yeah, back to surrender. I do need to be surrendered in all areas of my life. I need to be surrendered on a daily basis. And never forget that a few years ago, I was sponsoring someone for a short time while their sponsor was away. And I meant to say something to them about something that they had said to me, and I forgot to. And then their sponsor came back, and that was that. But I still felt the sort of leaning that I wanted to say what I wanted to say. And so I rang this person up and said, look, I know your sponsor's back, and I'm not sponsoring anymore, but I'd had this leaning to say this thing. And I know I've missed my opportunities. And this person said to me, oh, look, no, Kay, don't worry. You don't need to be sponsoring me. You can say anything to me anytime. If you hear me saying something in a meeting and you think it sounds a bit whatever, don't hesitate anytime. So, and that made a big impression on me. I thought that is true surrender, true teachability. That is how I need to be in my daily life, teachable in all my affairs. And that's easy with my sponsor. I completely trust her, and I'm able to be, I think I'm very teachable with her. And I need to think now, how am I with other members? How am I with my colleagues at work? How am I with the colleague I might not be too keen on if they said something to me? How am I with my own husband and my own children? It's a program I need to be working in all my affairs with everyone that I come in contact with. And that can be a little bit more of a test for me. It's good to remember it. It's practicing these principles in all my affairs. Step 12 of the program. I've jumped from 1 to 12 pretty quickly, haven't I? We're at the end of them now, but that's okay. That's okay. I have done the ones in between as well and continue to do. And I have definitely received a lot of help here from a lot of people willing to help me, and I try to pass that on. That's probably about it.